Hi, my name's Sam and I'm at the Merrick's General Wine Store on the Mornington Peninsula for the Regional Victorian Masterclass series at Fed Square. I'm here today with Lawrence Tedesco from Elgee Park and manager Kerry Watson from the Merrick's General Store. Today we've paired a lemon thyme and Meyer lemon millefeuille with a Elgee Park Cuvée Brut 2016 produced by our new chef Dallas Riley, who is a very, very strong advocate for always supporting local seasonal produce, and we've also decorated it with many flowers from the Bayou Veggie Garden at Bulldog Run to make it look pretty.
Yeah, and it does.
So this is the Elgee Park Cuvée Brut 2016. We thought this would pair nicely with the sweet because the Elgee bubbles is picked early while the fruit has still got lots of acid, and the acid kind of cuts through the sweetness of the dish, but it also has it's not open very well.
Thank you, Lawrence.
So this Elgee Park Cuvée Brut is made from Pinot and Chardonnay, and we pick the fruit early and we cool it down almost immediately to keep the crisp, fresh acid in the fruit. And we make a base wine, and that base wine is then bottled, and we add yeast, and then we keep this on lees for at least 3 years or 36 months to develop the creamy kind of yeasty characters that you get with a typical a traditional sparkling wine, and the richness of the yeast goes really well with the pastry of the millefeuille, and the also, as I said before, the acid kind of cuts through the curd and the sweetness.
Are we allowed to say cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers, Kerry. In the eye.
Do we drink it?
Oh, that's beautiful.
I think it's about time we did some tasting.
Sounds good.
Okay, here's hoping my knife cuts it. All right, here we go. Delicious.
The flowers are beautiful.
The flowers just got the orange calendula.
And borage.
And the borage and the pelargonium. Very pretty. Now,
Very pretty.
Kerry, can I pass you this little piece?
Sure. Shall I just pop it
Oh,
on
well,
there?
put it on your serviette.
On your Merrick's
Your
General
Thank you.
Merrick's General
Yes.
Wine Store.
serviette.
What have I got? The horse, you've got the
I've got
chook.
chocolates.
Got a little chook. There we are, Lawrence. Little piece for you
Thank you very much.
and a big piece for me. Cheers again.
Thank you. Maybe give it a try.
Oh,
So see how the pastry has kind of obviously got that biscuit and that biscuit to us, and it also got the layers. So we think that goes really well with the yeast.
That buttery
And
sort
the-
of aftertaste.
Right. And the yeast in the bubbles has got a kind of a creaminess as well. Yeah.
I just love that Meyer lemon zing. You know, it's really
not too acidic.
No.
But just
absolutely
gently
beautiful.
zesty.
But that little undertone of the thyme is nice too. The lemon thyme.
Yeah. Those lemons we picked from the farm. They came from the farm as well. Yeah.
Paddock to plate.
Yeah.
Farm produce. It's delicious.
So this Cuvée Brut,
It's beautiful.
the Chardonnay gives it a bit of like an apple and a pear characters. So you can really kind of smell those apple and pear characters. And then there's less Pinot. There's 60% Chardonnay and 40% Pinot. So and there's a very slight undertone of the Pinot grape. The Chardonnay is more dominant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So some years does that change?
No, never changes. Always 60-40%.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's always Chardonnay 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very fresh.
And
It's
we've
beautiful.
We've been making this. The first time we did this was Bales wanted to do a bubbles in 1992, and we've done one every year since. And so it's one of the first bubbles on the peninsula. And these grapes are from some of the oldest grapes on the peninsula too, because the vineyard was planted in 72. And so
I planted it with him.
The Chardonnay.
1 acre to begin.
Yes, 1 acre to begin with. And so these Chardonnay grapes are from near that old site.
And just a reminder that everyone thought he was mad because they thought there's no way you would be able to grow wine, plant a vineyard so near the sea because of all the wind and the sort of, the battering that comes from that site. And wine can be grown anywhere.
He proved them wrong.
It's on its characteristic. Yeah.
But the two varieties, Chardonnay and Pinot, they particularly like cool climate or do well in cool climate. And so everyone knows Pinot does particularly well on the peninsula, but so does Chardonnay. So they work really well, and I suppose they're easier for us to grow. And because they ripen earlier, we're sure to get a nice ripe crop before it gets too late in the season and gets too cool. And so we get the fruit ripe by March, mid March at the latest, and get it off before the weather cools down too much.
And the reason we would pair it with a dessert or with a special starter like oysters is that it's a celebratory drink. And if 2020 has taught us anything, it's that we have to celebrate.
Make the most of the good
things like
times.
food and wine, friends, family.
Absolutely.
Because
don't
it's
we
what
miss
it's
them?
all about. We do. We do.
Yep, that's for sure.
And it kind of seems like we've been closed for that long that we were talking about the different things on the menu that this wine would go with, and we've forgotten some of the things on the menu.
Yeah, that's right.
We haven't had our normal menu.
Yes.
And we haven't. We've been forced to run on this takeaway model for some time.
Can you imagine the joy of sitting down and being actually given a menu one day? and with all the beautiful seasonal produce we're coming into, and also the excitement of having the new Elgee Park veggie garden.
Yeah.
We're going to be growing a lot of our own. Not that we weren't already, really. There's so many things that were coming to the store straight from paddock to plate. We had lemons, we had quinces, there's always the rhubarb, there was always many raspberries, strawberries, but now we're going to be growing more. So that's exciting.
Yes. Yeah. And this year we know a lot of growers have not been able to move their produce.
Yeah.
So it's exciting with things picking back up.
Absolutely.
That now we can continue
supporting them.
Yes, that's right.
As people open back up and we go into spring, because there's going to be a lot more produce produced now after the winter months, that the growers are going to be happy to be able to supply their usual restaurants and
the demand will be slowly coming back.
Yes, and with Corona and services being reduced, things that people may have sourced from further away and they can't get them, they're forced to look closer to home. And actually what we have closer to home is better.
It's better anyway.
That's right.
Without those carbon miles. It's fresher, it can be picked in the morning and eaten here for lunch.
And a lot of suppliers have become friends of ours. Customers have become friends. It's a whole network.
It's a family
of people supporting.
Yeah.
And you think about the sunflowers that grew down the road, and we had here that people didn't even buy, they were just giving them away, and the money was being donated to bushfire relief.
Oh, he was a legend.
That's right.
I think people want to really understand the provenance of where their food comes from now. They don't. they just want to know that, oh great, you know, those were the strawberries from down the road.
Yes, that's right.
You know, it's
So it's the same when we travel. When you travel somewhere, you want to drink the wines from that area. You want to
That's right.
in that area. You don't want to go somewhere and then find out that everything's been imported from elsewhere.
Yeah. No, you do not.
When people come to the peninsula, it's great if they can have all local stuff.
Yeah. Lawrence, during the bushfires, how smoke affected do you think, you know, the local wines were?
I think the different vineyards were affected to a different degree.
Yeah.
Because a lot depends on location, and it really depends on how much smoke was in your area and for how long.
Yeah.
And we certainly had, you know, smoke hanging around the farm for days on end.
Sure did.
And particularly with some of the red varieties where where you ferment the wine with the skins, because the smoke basically gets into the skin, and then you do a ferment, and then it comes out in the skin. So often a lot of the white varieties you can get away with, because if you press the skins and discard the skins quickly, you can get away with it. But some of the red varieties like Pinot, for example, and they've got a fairly delicate skin, and then the smoke taint affects that, and it can certainly come out in the wine if you're not careful. So there's a lot of work done by the AWRI and the local wine association on training people to detect the smoke taint and different things that you can do in the winemaking and picking early. Or even some people made rosé because again you don't have a lot of skin contact.
Sure.
And so they changing your wine styles and
accordingly.
And we certainly did a little bit of that for sure. And we did have a lot of issues with birds, because it seemed that birds were displaced from their normal areas, and so a lot did come down to the peninsula. Obviously, luckily, we net all our vineyards, and we had to make sure we get the nets on quickly and get them on early. But nevertheless, the birds are pretty persistent, so we were also bird affected. So it kind of wasn't the best start to the year with fires, and it was a bit spooky and scary for everyone too. Everyone was on edge, and especially around the farms and around the country areas, not knowing what's going to happen on the hot windy days. So we kind of got over that, and I think it's been a bit hard for the people who were truly affected, because there was a lot of bushfire relief and a lot of assistance happening and about to happen, and then all of a sudden coronavirus hit, and that's just taken over. And it seems like all that's almost been a little bit forgotten about.
Absolutely.
But it hasn't.
No, it just hasn't.
And so I'm sure plenty of people in country areas will be looking forward to visit us this summer.
Thanks for joining us at our Regional Victoria Masterclass series at Fed Square. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the Elgee Park Cuvée Brut and the Lemon Thyme and My Lemon Millefeuille. We look forward to seeing as many of you as possible over the festive season. You can find us online at www.mgwinestore.com.au or on Instagram or on Facebook. We love interaction of all kinds, whether it's customers face-to-face or other engagement. Yes, that's right. We've always got friendly people here to answer any questions over the phone. And don't forget to check out fedsquare.com for more masterclasses